Hi, and welcome to Mindful Marathon Conversations. I'm Coach Michelle, a pediatrician, a run coach, and founder of Mindful Marathon, where I help make running easy and fun for busy professionals. Today, I have a very special guest with me. I'd like to welcome Dr. Melissa Choi. She is a board certified family medicine and obesity medicine physician, a wife and mom to 3 girls aged 9 and under. She's the founder of The Mom Plate, where she helps busy moms and their families make long-lasting, healthy lifestyle changes without taking more time to do so. She considers herself a no-frills foodie and just recently learned to enjoy running. She and her family reside in Minnesota, which is very cold right now, I'm sure. Welcome, Dr. Melissa.
Thank you, Coach Michelle. It's so great to be here. You have been such an inspiration to me in my run journey, even these last few months.
Well, I'm very happy to have you, and you have given me lots of inspiration as well, and we'll get into that and some good recipes, hopefully.
Yes, definitely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I can maybe give you the brief version of my journey. And it pretty
Perfect.
much starts when I became a mother in the beginning of my last year of family medicine residency. And as you know, as a doctor, residency is busy. And so I barely had time to take care of myself. I was not exercising, I was just eating what I could grab in the cafeteria and just felt like I just had to get through residency. And surprisingly, I ended up getting pregnant with my second daughter before residency even ended. So here I am as a newly minted attending, about to have 2 children under the age of 2. And life was just really stressful for me. I was learning to be a parent of 2 children. I'm a new attending, and I just was not taking care of myself. I did not exercise. I knew how to cook and I enjoyed cooking, but I felt like I did not have the time to cook. So oftentimes we were just eating whatever was convenient for our family. And I just felt like there was this significant contrast because here I was as a physician trying to counsel my patients to eat healthy and exercise at least 5 days a week. And I was not doing any of those things. And at the same time, I noticed a pattern in my patients where a lot of them who had diabetes and high blood pressure, needing knee replacements, having sleep apnea, there was always one thing in common, and that was they were often overweight or at an unhealthy weight. And so I began to take an interest in obesity medicine at this time, maybe a year into practice, and started studying to become board certified in obesity medicine because I was thinking, what if we can prevent all these problems rather than be reactive and just treat all the problems? But at the same time, I was still really busy and not doing all the things that I was learning, studying, counseling my patients to do. And it really wasn't until I had it was a minor in hindsight health scare, but it kind of woke me up. And even my doctor, once everything checked out fine, she kind of just made a note like, you might want to start exercising regularly. And that was sort of a wake up call to myself that I need to start an exercise routine. So over the last few years, just kind of the information that I've learned as an obesity medicine physician, and now being a mom of 3 kids and trying to work exercise into my daily routine, that has just been something that I've learned. And I know that there are a lot of moms that probably struggle with things that are similar to what I had gone through, just being busy with life, and especially now with the pandemic. And I hope to help moms be able to find the time, make the time to fit exercising and cooking healthy and other healthy habits into their daily routine.
Yeah, I love what you do. And
Oh, thank
a
you.
lot of your a lot of your story, especially how you felt in residency and then right after, is pretty much mirrors my own. I mean, I was trying to be active, but I really was not doing a great job of it. And I think in my last year of residency, I really started to go to regular, Zumba classes and get to the Y and do a little bit more exercise. But it's so crazy how fast time flies, especially when you're that busy. And on most of my days off, I was really just trying to catch up on sleep, and I was not focused on fitness or much wellness at that time at all. So
Exactly.
I
And it's
really started running
easy.
after my residency. That's
Yes, yes. And it's easy to kind of make those excuses too, when we're that busy and training.
I know. But I'm glad we came out of it the other end, and now we understand the importance of it, and hopefully we can share that with everybody else.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about your run journey. I know you said that it's a little bit more recent for you.
Yes. So, once I had this little health scare and I was thinking, I need to start incorporating more exercise into my daily routine. I wasn't sure how I was going to do it or what I was going to do. I was never a runner. I had those friends in high school that did cross country and track, and I always thought they were just crazy. I'm like, why would you run for fun? I want to at least play a sport. So I played tennis and soccer in high school,
Okay.
but I felt like running was one of those things that I didn't need to find a partner or somebody else to play with. And so it was something I could do independently when I wanted to, but I had no idea where to start. And I had patients even tell me, they're like, I did a couch to 5K thing. And I was like, maybe I should just download this app and try it. So, Coach Michelle, I literally downloaded the Couch to 5K app, and that's where I started. I was walking for a minute and then running for a minute and walking for a minute because I was so not conditioned that even running for a sustained period of time, like 5 minutes, was a long time for me. So
Yep.
this was, probably mid 2019 or so. And just very slowly, I would go maybe 2 days a week and do this routine and gradually run a little bit more. And amazingly, I still wasn't necessarily exercising 5 days a week, but I would add a day here or there, and then I would run for longer periods of time. And it probably wasn't even really until after the pandemic started in 2020 where I felt like, okay, I actually do have time now. And it was also a stress relief for me because work was, stressful at that time as a physician. My kids were home around me all the time, and I just needed some alone time. So I really made it a priority to run. And so now I've spend most of my mornings before my kids get up, before I go to work, to try to get exercise in, because that's just an easy time for me to fit that into my routine.
Wow, I love that. I didn't realize that it was so recent. That's amazing.
Yes.
And the Couch to 5K is a great place to start. I mean, I really started running short periods of time like that as well, like 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And I used run walk intervals. And that's what I use with many of my athletes as well. We try to figure out, which interval works best for each person, but it's really
Right.
a great place to start. I know I always say, like, just take 5 minutes, and people are like, that's crazy. What is 5 minutes going to do? But over time, you build that up, and that's how you build consistency, really. So this is a testament to that. So now we're like 2 years into it, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And
awesome.
it's pretty amazing, when you can see that progression over time, because at first it just seems silly, like, oh, run and walk for a minute.
Yes.
But now that you can look back and say, wow, I can sustain a 20 or 30-minute run, but we have to start somewhere. We don't start at 20 minutes.
Yes, I love that. I always say that too. Everybody starts somewhere, and that's fine if it's the couch.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, now tell us, so what are some of the common obstacles you see in your patients and in your clients as far as starting or maintaining an exercise routine? I know that would help so many.
Yes, I think it's probably the similar thing that I said, and maybe you even said during residency, was that we don't have time. That's most commonly the thing that patients and clients tell me. Um, And somebody once recently told me that, 30 minutes is only 2% of our day. And when I heard that, it just is so amazing because when I hear 30 minutes, I'm like, I don't have 30 minutes in my day to exercise. But if somebody was like, could you give up 2% of your day? I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And 30 minutes is 2%. And so
Wow.
just that mind shift, I think, is helpful for patients and clients. And the other thing I like to have people start out with, if they're not exercising at all, is maybe splitting up your exercise.
Mhm.
So doing, if you don't have time to do 30 minutes all at once, maybe doing 10 minutes as the kids are running around getting their things ready for school. You just run up and down the stairs while they're doing that. And then if you have 10 minutes during your lunch break, go out for a walk. And then again in the evening after dinner, once you've finished dishes, do another 10-minute walk or run, and the piece together is 30 minutes. And so sometimes it's easier to find multiple 10-minute blocks than one 30-minute block in your day.
That's so true. I think even, yeah, like on a lunch break, walking around where I work, there's a pretty big parking lot and we have a little garden. I mean, right now, not much is growing because it's winter, but but it's a great, I mean, even doing laps around there for
Yes.
5 or 10 minutes, this is a great idea. Or if you have a big staircase, that's always,
Just run up and down there. Yeah. And it
yeah.
just helps me even clear my mind, not just for the exercise part, but to, okay, I can finish this afternoon now
Yep.
at work.
Yeah, this all of those steps, literally and figuratively, matter.
Exactly. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Yeah. Now, how about common obstacles as far as eating more healthfully as well? I know time
Mhm.
is probably an issue there too.
Yes. So yes, definitely there, I think there's often that time management portion, but I will say, a lot of patients and clients will say, I don't know what to cook, or maybe I don't even know how to cook. I'm sure there are people that don't really enjoy cooking. But I say, start with kind of what and keeping things simple. So for example, avoiding things that come in boxes or packages and turning more toward produce, meats, things like that, that don't necessarily have a nutrition label on it, but
Mhm.
it's something that your great 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 grandparents would have eaten, versus something that's packaged. And just start there. And then the other thing is, if you're trying to meal plan, sometimes that's hard if you're trying to find new recipes, but maybe one or two recipes and just start there. I think it's helpful to do what and then gradually add on things, sort of like the exercise thing. We don't start exercising 30 minutes, running 30 minutes straight, but maybe we do a 1 minute here and that. And I think cooking and meal planning is kind of the same way. We kind of have to gradually build up to where we
Mhm.
want to be.
Yeah, I love this. This is great. It's very, I like that you keep it simple. And it's the same. We work with like where we're at and we work with what we have.
Yes, exactly. And then
It's
you
a,
just build on to that.
yeah, it's the same with running.
Mhm, mhm.
So could you give us maybe 3 tips for keeping things simple and healthy in our daily routine, whether it's exercise or with cooking?
Sure. I would say my three things are to start slow, uh, keep things simple, which we've kind of talked about, and then also, especially if people are parents, to keep their kids involved because it's something that you can pass on to the next generation too. And when I say start slow, so for example, with exercising, I think a great place to start is, committing to 1 day a week, like really start slow. And sometimes I will have clients just commit 5 minutes a day. 30 minutes sounds too much. Even 10 minutes is too much. But if we can start a routine, say every morning, I'm going to stretch for 5 minutes, that's a great place to start. And
Mhm.
then, like Coach Michelle had said, we can just keep building on. as time goes on. But don't overwhelm yourself with feeling, oh, my doctor said I have to exercise 5 to 7 days a week. I got to start doing that right now. It's very difficult when we're starting from ground zero
Yeah,
to
it
do
always,
that.
I think it feels a little bit daunting to have
Mm-hmm.
something like that told to you when you may be starting from somewhere else.
Exactly.
The
And I
frame
know
of
I
reference is
felt,
different.
yes, even I felt like that as a physician. I was like, how am I going to squeeze in 5 days of exercise? I can't even get in 1 day of exercise with my 2 kids. So
Yep.
I think it's absolutely fine to start with 1 day a week or even 5 minutes a day.
Mhm.
And even when, like I said about cooking, it's hard to plan a full week's worth of meals if you're not used to meal prepping or planning. So I say start with 1 meal a week or maybe 2 meals a week, but maybe cook larger portions so both of those meals could actually act as 2 meals because you'd have leftovers. So instead of 1 to 2 meals, you've actually already made 3 to 4 meals for the
Mhm.
week.
That's
And
what
I think,
we do that around here. I work late on Mondays. That's like my late
sure.
day at work. So I usually will make something on Sunday for Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, isn't that great? So that way, when you come home, you don't even have to think. It's something that's healthy that
Yep.
you've already made, and you can just reheat it and have dinner ready to go.
Yep. Yeah. I love
Yes.
that. All right.
And so, my second tip, in terms of keeping things simple, too, I like to start out asking my patients and clients, if they don't exercise, if you were to exercise, what would you do? And really start with low hanging fruit.
Mhm.
Not everybody has to be a runner. I
Yep.
think maybe you enjoy playing tennis or you enjoy playing volleyball. So find an activity that you enjoy and start there. And again, it's the same thing with cooking. You might not have a binder full of recipes, but you've got 3 or 4 up your sleeve. Just start with what you know and then add a little bit as time goes on.
I love that open-ended question. I am going to have to start using that as well.
I think it's helpful because it helps. People really think about, well, if I'm going to start exercising, surely there's some activity that you enjoy. And even if
Yeah.
it's walking at the mall, it's some sort of activity.
With my patients, it's usually their response is usually TikTok dance. That seems to be very popular with
And you know what? They're moving during that time.
exactly
So
like go with
make a
it.
TikTok video. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. They like to show me what they're doing. So sometimes we're dancing anyway.
That's awesome. I'm sure you've seen some fun videos from your patients.
Yeah. Okay. And now
Yeah.
you have a third tip for us?
Yes, my third tip. So since I enjoy working with moms and parents, I think getting your kids involved is really helpful. It kind of instills those habits to your kids, but it's also, at least for me, it gives me an opportunity to spend time with them in a meaningful way because I know, as a physician, I'm already so busy and often not with them. So if I'm going to exercise, if I can spend time with them and exercise at the same time, it's a great activity we do together. And in the summertime, my kids like to bike, and that way I'll run at the same time that they're biking, and we can walk at the very end. We'll kind of walk, and they'll go at a slower pace, and we can have a nice conversation. But it's fun to do an activity and then hang out, during my cool down and chat.
Yeah. This is like two for one.
Exactly. I love it. And you're going to spend time outdoors too, which is great here in Minnesota when it's
Oh yeah.
freezing cold in the winter. So at least in the summer, we take advantage of the few warm months that we have.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Although
And
in
then
the summer, I wish that we had your weather here. It's a little
does it
humid
get
here.
humid? Well, yes. Yeah. So, and I've just now started learning how to run in the winter months. I still can't quite do it when it's -degrees, but in the 30s, I can do it now.
Yeah. I mean, you have a treadmill, right? So you
Yes.
you can
Yes.
take
So
it
I do
inside.
that.
That's very lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but we try to take advantage of the weather, when we can, even in the winter. But even with cooking, I try to get my kids involved. If I'm in the kitchen, they can help me wash vegetables,
Mhm.
or they will help stir things, certainly age appropriate. I won't necessarily have them chopping things right now, but um, setting the table, they, when they're young, they actually are really motivated to help. And it might
Yes.
not be perfect, but I think they're doing something that they like to do, and it just will become part of their habit. And with my older girls who are 9 and 8 now, I've even involved them with meal planning and meal prepping. And so, again, spending time with them, but also having them give their input, so they feel like they have an opportunity and a say in terms of the food we eat.
Yeah, this is great. I think you're building healthy habits from a young age, and it's not even it's not so much like conscious like on their part, right? Like they're just doing what they like to do and doing their thing, but they're watching and they're learning.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they feel like they're having some sort of say too. Like they'll say, hey, can we have, black bean burgers for dinner tonight? And, as you know, as a pediatrician, kids like to have some control, and as long as you kind of guide them. And so you're giving them that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love your three tips. And as a runner and a person who enjoys cooking and as a pediatrician, so this is great.
Good. I'm glad you found them helpful.
Oh yeah, I think everyone will.
Great.
Lots of gems here. Okay. All right. Now, one question that I like to ask all of my athletes is what is your why with regard to running or fitness? And I'm sure that
Mm,
you touched on it a little bit, but tell us your
yeah.
why.
I think that's such a great question, when we think about what we do. And I think of kind of the long term and the near term. For me, family is so important to me. And I think 10 years, 20 years down the road, I want to be healthy and I want to be around if my kids end up having kids, to be able to help out with grandchildren. And I find running, one of the ways that I can keep fit. But I also think just the day to day, my life has really changed with running, even in these last few years. When I run, I just sort of changes my mindset for the day. I feel like my mood is better. I have more energy, and I even notice that I sleep better. So there are just so many benefits that I've experienced with running on a regular basis recently that I've almost become one of those runners that get a little bit anxious or agitated when I don't run, because there are just so many great benefits day to day. And I know that there are so many great health benefits long term too.
Yeah. I feel this way.
Yeah. But that's why you're so great at what you do,
It's hard to convince people who have not taken up the sport that it could do all of those things, but I think other sports do it too. And like you said, you just have to
Mhm.
find what it is that you like to do and what works for you. But yeah, I definitely have become quite passionate about this sport.
Yes, and just I think once people have a taste of all those benefits that you and I have now experienced, it's hard to let those things go. You just want to keep doing it because you know how it makes you feel, the health benefits of it, and
Yeah,
it's just helpful. Mhm.
agreed. Okay, well, tell us where to find you.
Yeah, so as you had mentioned, I'm the founder of the Mom Plate, so it's easy. You can go to my website at themomplate.com, or you can find me on Instagram with the handle at the Mom Plate, all one word. I have lots of free tips with recipes or just kind of easy tidbits to keep you healthy. And I'm also helping moms on a one-on-one basis too, if they feel that they need a little bit more personalized help with structuring their days, learning things like meal planning or starting an exercise routine. I would love to help any mom that feels kind of overwhelmed and that they don't have enough time. Um, but I'm not an expert in running. I enjoy exercising. So if you are looking for a run coach, Coach Michelle is the best that's
But
out
yeah,
there.
oh, thanks, Dr. Melissa. Your website is lovely. The website is beautiful, and she has a lot of great recipes on there. Like last weekend was the Super Bowl, and she had a great guacamole recipe up there that we made. It was delicious.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
It was really good. So check it out, and they're easy recipes. Like it's that's what I love. It's simple, time-saving tips for busy moms, busy non-moms, but it's
Mm.
busy everyone.
Yes, and that's kind of what I said when I'm a no frills foodie. Like I like things that are simple and taste good. So I hope that the dishes and recipes that I share fit that
They definitely
criteria.
do. They definitely do.
Great.
Well, thank you, Dr. Melissa, for joining us. It was wonderful. I know
Thank
that
you.
everyone is going to take away lots of great tips, and I'll pull some out as well and share those.
Thank you so much for having me, Coach Michelle.
Oh, my pleasure. And thanks everyone for joining us. Be sure to like our video and the Mindful Marathon YouTube channel. Dr. Melissa has inspired us to fitness and exercise. And for those of you who are starting that journey, if you are on the couch, I have a free 1-month walk plan that you can download from my website, and I'll leave the link below. And if you'd like to work with me, schedule a call, and I'd love to chat with you. And that link is below as well. So thanks again for listening, and we will talk to you soon.